Hey guys, welcome to the Rotus review and welcome to a review of arguably the biggest movie of 2018, Avengers Infinity War. Hey God, look, this movie has been 10 years in the making, going back to 2008 with Iron Man, followed up by The Incredible Hulk, and then Thor, and then Captain America. This is the 19th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We just had the 18th movie in February, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, that came out ahead of this one. So it's 19 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we have been waiting for this film. It's a culmination of the last 10 years of Marvel filmmaking. Now, I want to point out something very important. There are no spoilers in this review. I will not be giving away any information. I will not tell you any details about the film. I will not spoil your experience. This is a non-spoiler review. Now, if you haven't seen any of the previous 18 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that's fine. You won't be missing too much because they explain the plot in this film within the first 10 minutes. Now, as far as the film is concerned, they might as well have called this film Thanos Infinity War because this movie is all about Thanos. Now, who is Thanos? Thanos is the big baddie, he's the big villain. He was teased in Avengers in 2012, where in the bonus credits he turns and smiles to the camera, and he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014. So, Thanos has a vision. Thanos has a goal. His goal has something to do with developmental economics. A lot of people would describe Thanos as a killer or a murderer, a perpetrator of genocide, but I see him as a philosopher and also a developmental economist. Why? Because Thanos feels that overpopulation will destroy mankind. Thanos believes that the best solution is to kill half of the population. That is his theory. Now, in order to do this, he has to get the 6 Infinity Stones in order to see out his mission. And over the course of the last 18 movies, they've been describing these stones and introducing them to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's the Power Stone, the Mind Stone, the Soul Stone, the Space Stone, and so on, and the Time Stone as well. So these stones, each of them have been introduced in the previous movies leading up to Infinity War. So that is his quest. That was what this movie is about. How Thanos gathers those 6 Infinity Stones and whether or not he's able to kill half of the universe. The Avengers have to stop him. Now, they spend a lot of time on his character development. As a result of that, one of the main criticisms of this movie is that the other characters in the film suffer. So Thor, Black Panther, Iron Man, Mantis, everybody else doesn't get as much character development as Thanos. That is a legitimate criticism, and I can agree with that. However, the counterpoint to that is this. Each of the characters in this movie have had the last 10 years to develop their own stories. So we are familiar with them. We know them. We know them very well. So as a result of that, how much more character development do you really want for these characters? It's okay. We don't need it. This is a Thanos movie. And I have to say that they did a very good job in developing him and letting us get to know him. You really get to understand his motivations, why he's doing it. And there's a lot I'm not revealing. There's a lot more that goes on in this film that helps you understand the mentality of Thanos and who he is. Now, as far as the good things about this movie, my goodness. This movie is too big. In fact, that's another criticism of the film. It's too large. There's too much going on, too much action. You never catch your breath. It's a roller coaster. Some critics are like, I couldn't take it, it's too much. But that's a criticism, I can take that. It's also a huge plus for this movie. If you love action like me. This movie reportedly cost about $300 million. It is apparently the most, in fact, maybe even 400 million. It's apparently the most expensive movie that Marvel has spent money on, and you can see it. The cinematography is grand, the color, the graphics, the scale of this movie, hey God, It is mind-boggling. I mean, there's so much. It's a galactic movie. It's not taking place just on Earth. It's taking place on like 3 or 4 different planets. There is so much going on. You have to see this movie more than once. I've seen it twice, so you have to see it more than once to be able to process everything that happens in this movie. There is nothing like anything I've ever seen before in this film. And in fact, I feel sorry for any other action film that's coming out later on, like Deadpool 2 in May. And I mean, in how they can actually try and keep up with this movie or match what we've seen. It's an incredible film and one that will leave you absolutely breathless. My favorite character in this film is Ebony Maw. Ebony Maw is one of the 4 children of Thanos. Thanos actually needs their help in order to execute his plan of collecting all 6 Infinity Stones. And in one of the trailers to the film, you'll see them holding a spear and surrounding Loki on the Asgardian ship when they first arrive. It's in the trailers and you'll see it. But there's 4 of them. There's Corvus Glaive, there is Proxima Midnight, there is Ebony Maw, and there is Black Dwarf. Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight in the comic books, they're actually married. They're a married couple, but they didn't mention it in the film. So another thing Infinity War does, in addition to helping you with economics and philosophy, it also helps you in your marriage. So Infinity War says that if you want to have a strong marriage, you and your spouse should go into business together and work together to strengthen your bond. So Ebony Maw uses telekinesis and he moves things with his mind. He's also very sarcastic, very witty, and this guy dealt with the Avengers. The action scene in this film, again, mostly takes place with the Black Order, that's what the 4 of them are called, or the children of Thanos, fighting the Avengers. And he was my standout character out of everybody in this film. I think you're going to enjoy this movie. I think you will love this movie. I think everybody should go see this movie. Okay, so the question now is this. Where do I rank this movie versus the previous Avengers movies? Okay, so there was the Avengers in 2012, and there was Avengers Age of Ultron in 2015. So I would definitely put Infinity War above Age of Ultron. The question now is it better than the first Avengers movie? The first Avengers movie, by the way, is my favorite MCU movie out of all of them that have been released. Why? It wasn't just the action, it was the writing and the comedic lines. There are lines that people are still repeating 6 years into this movie being released, which came out in 2012. 6 years later, we're still repeating lines to the film, like when Captain America says to Bruce Banner,
"Now might be a really good time for you to get angry."
That's my secret, Cap. I'm always angry.
Things like that. Infinity War didn't have as many memorable lines, but as far as action, there's no other Marvel movie that can match it. So I'm still trying to decide if it's my favorite of the 3 Avengers movies. You too as well. You guys should let me know what you think as far as this film is concerned and where you would rank it with all the other Marvel movies. That's gonna do it for this episode of the Rotus Review. Go and check out this movie. It's not, I mean, I'm telling you, it's like on anything that we've ever seen before. They really, really went big. It was go big or go home for Marvel. And it was a real lovely climax over the last 10 years of Marvel making movies. That's going to do it for the Rotus Review. Remember, keep watching the movies.